I've got so much I could teach you.
Yeah, now, D, I'm thinking thumbnail already. Can we have...
God. I'm seeing it in my mind's eye. Go on.
Kev's head on somebody who's up a ladder next to a tree. From the tree are dangling traffic cones.
Traffic cones, yeah.
And he's, yeah.
Picking them.
Look, D, you're not that far away from me. We'll just meet up somewhere and actually reproduce it.
I think we could make this happen.
Yeah, sure.
Hello there, friends, and welcome back to another episode of Football Manager Therapy. I am your host, Rich Owens. Joining me this week, we have two members of the FM team and a guest. Is it really a guest? Kev, are you a guest or are you just one of us?
Yes.
Excellent. Kev's back, everybody. The United
Hello!
FM's here, Kev's here, Dee's here, Jeb is here. Kev, you, my friend, are back on the podcast. How are you, my friend?
I am. It's a fantastic moment. It's like coming home. I'm doing really well. Thank you very much. We'll get into the last year and a half as to when I might not have been doing so well, but I'm doing very, very well, and I'm very, very happy to be here. It's lovely to see you all because we haven't spoken or anything for a year and a half.
No, we don't contact each other. There's a kind of, there's a code of silence policy. Once somebody has left the podcast, we don't speak under any circumstances ever again.
Yeah.
Who is this?
Jeb, do you remember Kev from before? No.
No, sorry.
Good.
I've got a cold, so but you forced me against my will to come on here, so I'm here now.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Sorry. Jeb's got a cold.
Yeah.
D, have you got any ailments that you want to kind of, or grievances you'd like to air before we continue?
Outside the usual, I think I'm all right, but I had some spicy food earlier, so that's going to come back to get me later on. So I'll let you know about that then. But
ticking
right
time
now,
bomb.
Yeah, pretty much. Pretty much. It's just. I'm very happy that Kev's here. It's lovely that Kev's on because I think Kev.
Yes.
You might be the person from the FM community that I have met the most.
Well, you definitely are.
I think.
So,
yeah. I think.
For me,
I think it's top. I think Gav and David are closing in on you, but
yeah, sure. But it basically, we're best mates. It's the way it is.
Yeah, just look at these two best mates. Should we just leave Rich?
Yeah.
Should we just let? Yeah.
Yeah.
We've got this.
Yeah, it's fine.
It's why only one of us could be on the pod. Really, I left. D arrived just because it would have been too much for everybody.
Yeah.
The friendship, the niceness.
We'd never get anything done.
Nope.
I'm not going to get anything done tonight.
Jokes. Yeah, all of that. All of that.
Don't anybody mention traffic cones. That's all I'm saying.
No, please don't. Please don't. I'll get angry again. I have opinions. Correct opinion. It's not a conspiracy if you're factually right about it. I think we've learned in the preamble today. Oh, but Kev, it's genuinely it's wonderful to have you back, mate. We have missed you. I'm sure the audience, despite the beauty, I suppose, of us as a collective of people, as a podcast, is even if you're not on the pod anymore, it's not exactly like you've completely disappeared from public accessibility, shall we say? Because of course, since you decided to step away from the podcast, you've still been streaming, still building. Well, I wouldn't say content creating. You've been creating a community.
Well done, Rich. We like it. Keep it on brand.
Thank you very much. Yeah, keeping it on brand. Keeping it on brand. So I suppose, from my perspective, Kev, and I'm sure the people that are listening to this will know, but what have you been up to since we last saw you, pal? How have things been?
Yeah, so I will take you down a slightly dark road to get back to a very light one, if that's okay.
Please.
But I left the pod about a year and a half ago, 18 months, something like that, around then. And it had been building for a little while for me for reasons that I didn't understand at the time, that my health wasn't good. I wasn't feeling particularly well and didn't really feel like I could really commit to doing half the things that I was supposed to be doing with the pod and various other bits and pieces. Subsequent to that, it turns out that I had non-alcoholic liver disease, and I didn't realise. So things had to change, and I had to change my lifestyle choices and other bits and pieces to help with that. But for about, I would say, 9 months after I left pod, through the back end of 24, sorry, back end of 24 into the first half of 25, I actually felt quite rough. And it had quite a big impact, unfortunately. But then it got a bit better. I kind of took control of a few things, changed a few aspects of my lifestyle, and gradually I felt like my normal self. And in that period, I was talking to my missus, and I basically decided if I'm going to do anything, I have to focus on something that doesn't let anybody else down if I can't do what I say I'm going to be able to do. And so I needed to move away from pod and a couple of other bits that I was doing outside of streaming and content creation as well, and just focus on the things that I could do in my own way. And that's ultimately what I did. So, I have carried on streaming. We'll talk about that, I'm sure. But ultimately, that's why I left. I was really sad to leave. I didn't want to. I felt forced into by, health and body and all that kind of stuff. And that kind of sucks. It's kind of been a bit of a recurring theme for me over the years, just because of disability issues and stuff. Sometimes they rear up and cause me problems. This was a different one, but still the same sort of thing. So in the end, it was the best thing for me to do for myself, for my health. But it sucked. I've missed being on pod. I've missed you all kind of, because actually we do speak relatively regularly between us all in one way or another. But it's lovely to be back. And, it's nice to get a preamble in with you all and realise that nothing's changed. It's still very lovely and it feels like coming home.
It's lovely to have you back. I mean, I'll be honest with you, Kev, just in the spirit of honesty, which I know is important and you value, when you were talking there about your reasons for, deciding to step away from pod, when you said, there was a brief moment there where you said I was, almost forced into it. I thought, is he going to say by Rich?
Tell the truth.
Under the bus here,
tell the truth. What did Rich say?
What was the? Yeah, come on, Kev. What was the real reason?
The bit that the great thing about the moment when I left the pod was about a week later. I was booked onto Tony's show, and I thought I could let a load of stuff out here and create all sorts of gossip, but I just couldn't bring myself to do it. Nah, Rich. I mean, some say you're a tyrant, some say you're a dictator, some say. So yeah. Anyway, it's lovely to be back.
I prefer Overlord. Thank you very much.
Yeah, fair.
I think it's reasonable. I think it's reasonable.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, thank you, subordinate. Appreciate that enormously from you. It was, I think, from a pod perspective, I think there was a very clear Kev-shaped hole left in our lives when you decided to step away, and I think it's very, very important to say this publicly. We all very much understood and support and respect your reasons for choosing to do so, because, as you say, you were having a pretty torrid time of things health-wise. So on the one hand, it was, we've missed your presence here. But on the other side, I think one of the biggest positives, because you have to look at, both sides of things, is that, Kev leaving meant that there was a lovely space for Dee to step into, and which has been equally as lovely. So losing a Kev meant we gained a D, which I think essentially, if it almost feels like Dee's a tax write-off at this point, I think we can agree he's coming.
That's exactly what my mum said about me last Christmas, that I'm basically a tax write-off. So you're not wrong. You're not wrong. That is how I'm viewed by quite a lot of people. Yeah.
Yeah,
including our accountants.
Yeah.
So the reason Steak's not on the pod anymore is that we are under investigation from HMRC, so we can't have Steak on the legally. He can't be on the podcast. It's actually the truth's come out now. So
it's nothing to do with a house move. They've now realised that Dee and Stakey are two separate people. So we've had to.
You what?
I know.
Yeah, I know. We were surprised to hear it too. We thought we were the same person. But...
Can't believe it. Anyway, I'll have to process it another day.
Yeah, well, we're
Just
dropping
at a later
bombshells.
point.
I know it's quite incredible, isn't it? It's ever so bizarre finding out they're two separate entities. Really, really strange. Nothing more confusing than sharing an Airbnb with them for an entire weekend, Kev, honestly.
I can imagine. Absolutely.
Real
I'd go
deja
in
vu
one
stuff.
room, then Steak would have to come back out. We'd have to coordinate everything so we never cross paths. So Rich was never lost or confused. It was, a lot of work. Too
Real
much.
time cop kind of thing. I think if they'd touched, then the whole thing would have just imploded in on itself.
I love that you just use Time Cop as a reference.
All the
Love that
films.
you just use Time Cop as a reference. One of my favourite films.
Everyone's
as a
seen
kid.
Time Cop, haven't they?
Everyone. Yeah.
Genuinely, I think I've
Yeah,
made
yeah.
more people watch Time Cop than I have any other film.
Great vehicle for Van Damme, though. Cracking vehicle for Van Damme.
Come on then,
Except
viewers and listeners. What's your favourite Time Cop scene? Come on, chuck
Yeah.
them in the chats.
The correct answer is all of it, by the way, Jack. It's just from
Is it?
from opening credits to closing, a cinematic tour de force. It's up there for me in terms of Van Damme films with Street Fighter. Oh, goodness gracious. me.
Now we're talking.
There you go. That's topical from this week. The Street Fighter trailer got released.
Indeed.
Yes,
There you go.
look at me with the accidental finger on the pulse of popular culture.
Granted, this is coming out a week later. Well, no.
Yeah, there is
We're
that.
a day already,
Okay,
aren't we?
scrap that then.
Yeah, so never mind.
Technically, at the time of recording, we're incredibly relevant, and it looks
Yes,
really good.
exactly.
Have you,
And when
have you seen it, Kev?
Stakey does actually come back, he's going to have Giles' hair. or has somebody referred to him, and he's never going to listen to the podcast, but somebody referred to him today. He's like, yeah, that Ghoulie looked weird. I was like, yeah, that's not how you say his name.
Oh dear.
Ghoulie. There you go.
Yeah, I know.
Absolutely outstanding.
Yes.
That's the thumbnail sorted, by the way. We're going to be the characters from Street Fighter.
Fantastic. Can I be? I mean, my heart says Chun-Li, but based on the descriptions of me earlier, I feel like I also need to be M. Bison now, which
Yeah.
is just, you know,
Yeah, you're Bison. Yeah,
I'm
you got to be.
Bison. I'm Bison. European Bison, not Japanese Bison, who was Vega? Is that how it went? Because they changed all of it. Because in Japan, the names are different. Sagat is still Sagat, but Balrog, Bison, and Vega were three separate characters. No, Balrog was Bison because it was Mike Tyson. That was the bit. They
Just
called
let
him.
him get out of his system. I don't
Yeah,
know.
settle in,
Yeah,
people. We
yeah,
might
we
be here
have
for
to.
a while.
We have to. Settle in, lads. Yeah, so in Japan, Balrog, as we know in the boxer, was M.
Still
Bison
here.
because it was M. Tyson. They changed the name and then.
The other
and
thing
then-
is that we're now. None of us are editing this podcast. So it's going to
No, no,
stay
it's
in. We
just
can't
me.
put a few moments later in.
Yeah.
Like,
No, no, no.
I
nor
would like
shall
to
you.
just remind listeners, this is a football manager podcast.
Hey,
Rich, I'm sorry to
me
interrupt.
and
You
Rich
carry
went
on.
nearly an hour before mentioning Football Manager last week.
That's pretty good.
We really did. We
and
really
Dad,
did.
actually, yeah.
Yeah, and Dad. Yeah, we were almost disappointed. We remembered that's what it is we were here to talk about.
Yeah.
So anyway, Sagat's always been Sagat. Now. Oh no, good stuff. Good stuff. Right. Thank you for reminding me that people might not care as much about that as I do. And why not? And why not this dictatorship of mine? I feel like I can say and do anything I want. I have the power. I don't have the power. I'm not He-Man. Time Cop's a good film, though, isn't it? Kev.
Go on, segue. Go on. You can do this. Go
Go
on.
on. You've got to find a segue between Time Cop and whatever you're about to ask Kev.
Or He-Man. I'll give you He-Man. It could be either.
Time Cop or He-Man. Okay. Right. There's got to be something in here.
Well, He-Man was a master of the universe. Kev, some people
was.
will say that you're a master of the FM universe.
They'd be
That's
wrong.
That's very good. That's very good.
Your, to be fair, your end of FM24 was quite inspiring, where you just went back and finished off things that you just
Yeah.
didn't do.
Just completed every save.
Yeah.
Yeah,
We
of all
had-
the people I didn't expect to be motivated that strongly by revenge, Kev.
Yeah.
Very proud of you. Quite
Well,
incredible.
we had to do something. I mean, for goodness sake, FM24 lasted for 7 years or something. I don't know. It was a madness, wasn't it? Yeah, revenge is a thingy best serves something, but I can't fill in any of the blanks. So it was fun. But yeah, Master of any universe? No. I'm married. It's just not the way it works.
Bless Mrs. Kev. Of all those revenge missions that you went on at the end of FM24, Kev, because again, for context, bizarrely, if there's anybody listening to this pod for the first ever time, this is your first ever episode of FMT, and you're not familiar with Kev's work. Kev, I think it's fair to say, over the past few iterations of FM, you've had some quite spectacular success, but often with the smooth comes the rough, and there were some clubs that weren't necessarily as kind to you as you would hope they would have been. Mm-hmm. I don't know, you spent the tail end of FM24 kind of righting some previous wrongs. Of those, did you have a particular favourite that you were happy to be able to go back to and kind of fix that chapter of history for you?
Basically everything other than anything that involved Sweden, because they still haven't let me do anything or be anything that I want to be, and they hate me immensely, and I'm not sure why. But no, there was loads. You are right. With the smooth comes the rough at times, and I've had a lot of rough FM saves at times along the way. Valencia springs to mind, and I had to go into a retro database and use Zigitch to get my own back on anybody that done me dirty at Valencia previously. But that was a lot of fun for the limited time that it lasted. Ultimately, even though it turned out to be a really long save, remember, FM24 was a very long time. It wasn't my main FM24 save, but I went back to doing the Homeward Bound save because, of course, remember a few FMs ago, my Homeward Bound save broke after literal IRL 10 months of doing it, and I couldn't complete it. So because FM24 lasted so long, I went and did that in the second half of FM24 and ultimately managed to get to where I wanted to be and succeed on it, which was incredibly cool because it had left a real sour taste in my mouth the first time round, let's say. But yeah, you know, we had to do something, didn't we? I'd say last 4 months of FM24 were incredibly complicated waters to navigate for a lot of people, and you have to do the best you can do. And I felt like anything that would connect my existing audience to something that we were doing is better than doing something random. So picking something we'd had to go at or hadn't quite worked out. And trust me, if FM26, you know, goes on for 3 years or whatever, there's plenty more I can go and try again at because I haven't succeeded in all of them yet. I mean, Brighton in the network save comes to mind, to be honest. I still haven't managed to figure out a way to succeed with them yet either. But yeah, it was fun while it lasted. And I got some sense of, you know, revenge and therapy as part of going through them all. It was fun.
Absolutely. I still haven't ever been back to Mexico, Kev, if that makes you feel any better. No. That's dead to me now. There isn't anywhere section of my current save, and I think it needs to be anywhere but Mexico. I think that's the remit for me.
Do I need to adjust the theme?
No.
Do I need to edit it so in between every single one I say, but Mexico?
Yeah, especially for the really long version. That's going to get confusing.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, it's going to become more of an existential crisis than it already is. But I also love it. I love it passionately. Oh, it's lovely you managed to get back to do it, though. I have almost kind of, again, because we also have the collective experience of the FMT network save at differing points for D and for Kev, obviously, because D and Stakey kind of came in and ended up managing elsewhere. But
so easy.
So, yeah.
You just strolled in and won, basically. It was amazing. It was in Newcastle.
Easy. You guys have been doing it for like 6 years. Just walked in, it was doddle. You struggled so hard.
One season and done. I will always remember your Fulham side, and obviously big meaty lads up top. But I honestly forget Brighton. I always forget about Brighton. It sounds like you wish you could, but yeah.
I was there for 6 months. And I had such a good transfer window, and I thought, yeah, there's some good, bright young prospects here. It's going to be great. I was there for 6 months, and then he went, no.
Not anymore.
Not you, never you. Yeah, it's wild. Yeah, looking back at it now, just tricking Alice into selling me Jack Butland. What a mistake she made there. And then Kev's having this beautiful transfer window, all these wonderful signings, all these wonderful players, and then 6 months later, gone. Obviously, you built your legacy at Fulham, and then later Spurs. But we remember the Fulham times.
We definitely do. That was a lot of fun. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, till the point where I stopped doing content creation, at whatever point that might turn out to be, there are going to be various chapters along the way. Doing things like draft shows, the playoffs and other bits and pieces was a chapter that I thoroughly enjoyed and got a lot from. Doing the network save and the pod at the same time was another of those chapters. And it was really impactful and great and fun and made you feel part of something. And then, the chaos of usually a Monday evening and a couple of other spots along the way, and all of Jeb's friends and stuff. It was just fantastic. It was a remarkable time. And Fulham were really fun, and Brighton are a bunch of poopy heads. What can I tell you?
We made it 20 minutes into the recording
Sorry.
before Kev dropped the P bomb. Yeah,
Sorry. Yeah, that's going to have to be talked about.
Yeah, it's demonetised again. Yeah.
I'm going to have to click explicit content on upload to Spotify now. Yeah.
I knew as soon as I said it, I thought, it's too early, Kev. Sorry.
Have you had a Ribena this evening, Kev?
Not yet, but I'd quite like one if you got one going.
Okay. I feel like that just makes me some sort of enabler, and I can't do that.
Yeah. Kev's on the equivalent of Ribena methadone, which is Vimto. And we're slowly trying to wean him off it. Very slowly trying to wean him off it. If you're listening to this podcast in the north of England, I apologise for the Ribena Vimto comparison there, because I know how desperately angry some people get when you make that comparison. I
From the north, I don't care. So, yeah.
So Vimto's rubbish, then Ribena's the best. Ribena is the
Totally.
absolute best. Love
Absolutely.
a Ribena. Absolutely love a Ribena.
It's just like squash.
Yeah. There's levels to this.
I
game.
love this
Levels.
podcast. I really do. Nothing's changed. It's great to be back.
Yeah. So interestingly enough, in Japan, lads, like Ribena and Vimto, they were like called different things. Kiora has always been Kiora over there, and Sagat's always been Sagat. But at one point, Ribena was Vimto. Vimto, I believe, was
called
Robinson's.
Dalsim.
Yeah.
Did anything really ever properly get close to Umbongo, though?
No.
Really?
No.
It's pretty good
Never.
stuff.
I mean, it was pretty good stuff.
Never. They
We
drink
didn't make it in
the
the Congo. That was lies. I'm sorry.
True.
Yeah.
What?
Sorry.
Yeah.
Oh dear. Yeah, we a long time ago. I think I posted some voice over work I did a very long time ago for a friend once. Somebody I know did some sketches, and we did the voice acting for them. And there was one that never made it to the light of day, and it was very correct that it didn't, because the premise of the sketch was it was a conversation between two dignitaries from the Congo, finding out in real time that the Umbongo factory had closed down because the parrot that put like the mango in or whatever it was had died in a freak accident. And wonderful setup and wonderful premise, but my goodness gracious me, the accents that were used when making that sketch. He was like, "Can you make it sound more authentic?" We're like, "No, because we're from the Midlands. We're not.
Yeah,
we're
really
not Congolese dignitaries. No, we don't."
Kev,
have the
I'll send you
capacity to do
those
this.
voice files, and your fee can go up for today. Like,
Thank you.
Yeah, just say you got
That's
them.
fine.
Yeah, hold them
Appreciate
No,
hostage.
don't worry.
Yeah.
Tell you what, Kev, if they never see the light of day, some of the comments you made before we properly started recording will stay.
Yeah, but that was the
In the
case
drafts.
every time we did a record with me, wasn't it, really?
It's true.
That's
it's true.
that's why, really, you booted me out, because I was just too controversial.
It's true. I've said it from day one, Kev. There is a darkness that lives inside you, and it every now and then it comes out, and it frightens me. It
Yeah,
truly
it's-
frightens me.
It's incredible that you were the only person to really pick up on that eventually. I was surprised that anybody did in the end, but fair play to you. Yep.
And that's why I had to be silenced. Mm-hmm. The fact that I've kept this platform for as long as I have is a miracle. I'm expecting it any day of the week now. Right? Just one morning I go out to the car, get in, I'm driving to work, and then somebody pops up from the back seat. They're like, "Kev sends his regards," and screw
It'll be Sassmas. Sassmas will be.
It'll
in the
be
back of the
Sass,
car.
yeah. It'll be
True.
Sass. 100% nailed on. It's going to be Sass.
For Kev.
Hetu Sasmaz. There you go. That's where I'm gonna go. That's where I'm gonna go. Oh, the big question.
Watch him
again-
try and get this one back on track again. I love this.
No,
It's great. Carry on.
This. I've already got this. Don't worry. I had one in the chamber, and then I'm just now imagining being assassinated by Sasmaz on me commute of a morning. It's quite soothing, really. We've talked about a bit of FM24 bits and pieces there, Kev. You know, your revenge missions towards the tail end of the game, and how, you know, getting back and getting to finally complete, you know, your going home challenge. And as a result of that, by the way, every club I manage in every FM ever, play for set pieces. It's the first thing I click constantly, just in
Me
case.
too.
As soon as that happened on 24, pretty much from that moment, every team play for set pieces. We can't have this happen.
Just in case.
But yeah.
Just in case.
So thanks for finding that out for the community.
You're welcome.
Yeah, a big one, a big old bug that you uncovered there, Kev. FM26, I suppose we've talked FM24 quite a lot. How are you finding the new game? Because I know, you know, I've been in some of the streams, and I know your opinions on the game at launch weren't particularly, especially by Kev standards, they weren't the most positive going, which is fair enough. How are you finding things now? Game's been out for a few weeks. We've seen some patches, we've seen a few improvements. How are you finding your overall FM26 experience?
So there's a couple of perspectives here. One being that you are right, when it first arrived as a beta format and then through the early launch, it was not very good. It was really buggy, really crashy, you know, laggy, lots of things missing, design choices have been made, and it just wasn't very good. From that point, there, as I say, there's a couple of perspectives to look at this from. Ultimately, the game is now better than it was. There's no doubt that it is. It's been updated in various ways. Now, obviously, they chuck a patch out and it breaks something else briefly, and they have to go and patch that, and, you know, round and round we go, and eventually we'll get to a game that's perfectly playable in all sorts of different directions. At the moment, I would suggest that it's a good game without being a great game, but it's nowhere near the disaster that we started with. But the problem is, alongside it, the second perspective is what everybody now feels about the company that have produced the game, and they can't separate the two at times. So ultimately, we've got a good game without being great for most of us. I would still say there's a few very unlucky people there that are still, you know, dealing with some really crashy awfulness and other bits that don't quite work for their system or whatever it might be, and they're really struggling, and I get that. But for most of it's good, not great, not terrible. But the company alongside it were really poor. Their communication was poor. They went silent for so long. They obviously had a lot of problems through 25 that meant that they were scrambling to create any form of game for 26 and had to put something out. Otherwise, that would have been a categorical disaster for the company if they hadn't. And so they rushed things. They chucked a bit out of it for other companies to help them create and stuff. And you get a slightly inconsistent, you know, lack of cohesion type game that has lacked immersion and lacked design choices and caused some problems. I can cope with a lot of those things because I think the game is now in a better place having updated it. And I think that it's actually quite a fun game to stream, more so than play personally, I would say at times, because it moves quite quickly. You can keep things moving relatively well. But what you feel about the company on top of that, and some will not, you know, have the vitriol towards them that others do, and they'll therefore have a slightly more chilled out version of their thoughts. If you are struggling with what the company have done over the last 18 months, then I think you're still going to be really cross. And we're seeing a lot of that across the community, that people are still really cross and not willing to give them any form of, you know, slack, let's say, within any of the context. And I think it's created a really strange community to be part of, because this is not what I've recollected the FM community to be over the last 5 years that I've been doing stuff in it up until this point. But it was a broken, laggy, buggy, awful mess. And it shouldn't have been. And that's the consequence of it ultimately. So yeah, I like the game. I don't love the game. I'm enjoying my save, but I'm still lacking in immersion in terms of how I feel connected to the actual process of playing it. but it's not the disaster that it was, and it's not the 9 out of 10 that FM24 was for me either.
Yeah, I think that's fair. Like, I think we had Ad on last week, and he's not really part of the community at all, and he's enjoying the game because you don't have to focus on all the things. You can just speed through the game like quite quickly. Actually, it's just I don't know how FM. You can't go back in time, but you look at a game like Satisfactory or Rust or something like that. That just came out in early access, and they went, "It's in early access. It's out. There you go." Satisfactory came out of early access after like 7 years. Rust has just celebrated its 12th birthday, and it's still in early access. Like I said, they're not released the game properly. And even just putting that little caveat on there is like, it's not completely ready yet. And maybe FM27 is the patch that makes it ready, but it is still like they're adding all these great things in each week. I mean, we're a little bit delayed, but like the bug that Loki got and lots of other people got this week, where if you rested all your players, you transfer listed them. I mean, that's genius. I mean, that's content more than anything else. But or the one that Ben had where he had the goal spoilers. Like, you sure you want to make this sub after this goal? What goal? Oh,
yeah.
But yeah, putting that caveat in, I don't know if it's because they're under pressure from Sega or from getting the game out on a certain day, but they could have just released it and just said we're in early access for a bit. Like, it's not complete, we're well aware of it, but this is what we're doing with it. And it's like I said, I've not got into the game that much at all. Like, the work stuff has prevented me, but then even just like going stuff and like I was telling everybody before the pod, I'm going to do a diffuse challenge to start my save, and I went to do it, and I picked the team out. I've did a spinning wheel video and everything, D, just for you.
Thank you.
And it had 8 clubs, so 4 in the National League North, 4 in the National League South, and one of them was FC United, the one team I definitely didn't want to get, and the spinning wheel got to within like a millimetre of being FC United, and it landed on Welling. I was like, yes, that's easy to do, it's not FC United. And then yesterday, there was an incident at Welling where the opposition manager got headbutted, allegedly, by the Welling manager. So, yeah, maybe not go with them. Let's see. It could be a way to take over, I guess. I don't know. But, yeah, I think
it would be a good way to take over.
Yeah, it could be, yeah. Maybe. Maybe it could be, yeah. Yeah, there's lots of stuff. I mean, there's a really easy chant for me, and I'm going to sit back. But, you just go full Lulu and go, where? Yeah, so, I think I've done that before or something. Yeah, exactly.
You have, and I want you to do it more often. I think it's important that you do.
With a cold, it's really hard as well, so I'm going to have to go take a sip of my drink now. So, yes, bye-bye.
Well, it's interesting that you bring up, like, Coffee Stain and play the people who make Satisfactory and stuff. We were talking about it earlier. Their interaction with an audience is incredible. Like, the way they are as I think it was Dadson was talking in the chat saying that's almost like he judges everybody compared to them because of how they are with the community. Like you say, they've had a game in early access, or they had it in early access for 7 years or so, and they were just like, yep, it's in early access, but there's going to be regular updates. We're going to communicate as much as we can. And the fact that, maybe there's not been as much as that from Sports Interactive with this launch. It's been a tough one to take for a lot of people, and then that's when you get the reviews and the negatives, which is a shame.
Yeah, it's fascinating, isn't it? I had a friend of mine away from the FM scene completely, and he came to me a couple of months ago and says, my son wants FM26 for Christmas. And this was just as the beta was launching and stuff. And we had a very interesting conversation about what that might look like for him and what I thought about it at the moment and whether or not it was a good thing at this point. Ultimately, I think it's in a position now where you can buy it for a younger generation to play, and they'll have a good time playing it in their way, etc. But if he'd have got it a month ago, I don't know what they would have made of it. I don't know. It's difficult. So yeah, it's been really, really interesting. I'm both kind of very understanding and in agreement in a lot of ways with some aspects of what the community have spoken and put out there as thought processes, and then I'm also completely heartbroken of the awfulness and the vitriol and the ick that's out there regarding, you know, personal attacks on people and all sorts of other bits and pieces, and I don't understand it and never will. And, you know, I think that the anonymity to a point of social media and stuff has got a lot to answer for, I think, unfortunately. It's led to a pretty icky place. As a streamer, you get at least, you know, a few times a week, what do you think of the game? I think it's X, and you have to manage that and kind of let them go in their direction a bit and agree or disagree and drag it back to some semblance of something else to talk about and then move on again. But it's still an interesting conversation to have, because, you know, there's no doubt that it was a complete mess of a launch, and they've, you know, done a lot wrong, and had a lot of problems that were, from their perspective, I'm sure, out of their control in a lot of ways, and they've been scrambling. But ultimately, as a product, at the end of the day, it wasn't good enough. And they don't owe me anything other than something for the money I paid on the most recent edition of whatever I've paid out for a game. And, you know, last time round with 24, I got my money's worth and some.
Oh, yeah.
It was exceptional. And it kept me amused for a very, very long time and entertained. The simple reality is, at the point where I paid out my 40 quid or whatever it was, do I think I got value for money for the game that was launched in beta and the official launch? No. Simply no. But now I do. I think it's at least going to give me enough for me to feel at the end of this game cycle, whenever that should be, that I'll have, you know, got enough for my money and enjoyed my time on it, whilst understanding that it's not a great game. It's a good game. It's not a great version of FM at this point. Yeah,
I think that's fair. I think a lot of that is valid. I think the bare bones of what it needs to be a great game are absolutely there. And I think if this gets built on for, let's hypothetically say, FM27 or whatever the next installment of the game there is, there's a lot of, and again, seeing a lot of the positives and a lot of the fixes and the new bits and pieces that have been popping up over the last couple of weeks and some of the new patches, I think it's absolutely getting there. And I think I think you're correct in what you say there, Kev. You know, it's a good game. It's not a great game, and I think I would agree with most of that. I'm really taken by the way that kind of you've put it there, Jeb. Is that, you know, if this was just early access FM, I think a lot of the opinions of the game would change quite dramatically from people. I think it was a difficult set of circumstances for SI because of the cancellation of FM25. I think there was exponentially more pressure on something going out. There's something that we got early doors, and, you know, I was quite positive early on. You know, I've always said I've always had a comparatively enjoyable experience with FM26. I've been one of the lucky people, touch wood, haven't had, you know, I didn't experience a huge amount of bugs or crashes in my early experiences with the game. It's definitely in a much better place now than it was a month ago. Easily night and day. But I do almost feel like SI must have felt like they were in a position where they had to release something. And I think it's a hindsight thing, you know. It's as is always the way, from their perspective, maybe at that point they felt maybe we can't tag early access, for example, onto this product, because after cancelling the last game completely and not releasing anything now for, you know, this is the first release in 2 years now, maybe they felt they weren't in a place where they could do that. Should they have done that if it was an option for them? I think in hindsight, absolutely. I think it would have been really beneficial to them. I think it would have brought them some good grace from a lot of the player base, because again, that reaction has been quite visceral at the best of times. We've talked about this on the pod before. It's been a lot of anger directed towards SI, towards the specific people behind the scenes there, which I don't necessarily think is fair or correct. Shouldn't be, you know, it shouldn't be a personal attack on somebody because you're not enjoying a product they create. But in hindsight, maybe it would have helped to reduce that to an extent. You know, there would have been people that were angry that, yes, this isn't a polished game, this isn't the finished article immediately, but then it's a case of taking a step back and understanding why they haven't done that. So maybe let's try and be very Kev here and try and look at the positives of all of this. You know, use this as the learning experience, I think, for the launch of the next title in the series. if it's not ready, put the release it under that caveat of this is early access. This is not the finished build yet, because I think that it goes a long way. Like I'm still dipping in and out and playing a lot of the new Skate. Technically Skate 4, that's still early access, and that's been out now for 3 months, I think. And I've not seen any news as to when it's going to be the full release, but I'm having enough fun with it. And again, very similarly to Football Manager, a lot of people that played it were like, this is terrible, horrible game, can't be stomaching this, don't want to play it anymore. But it's not finished. If it's not finished, it's not finished. That kind of, that's always in the back of your head when you're playing it. This isn't the finished article. And you would imagine that if this is the benchmark, it's only going to improve, as we've seen with FM26. It's not the finished article, but it's definitely in a much better place than it was. It's in a better place now than it was, as I say, a month ago, 2 months ago. It's getting there, which is nice to see. See, Kev, this is the influence that you've had on me in the long term. Trying to be nice about everything. It's disgusting. I hate it.
Kev?
Yes.
What's your favourite thing about FM26 on a positive spin?
The fact that I still don't understand tactical situations at all, and that it's something to dive into and kind of get my head round. I'm really enjoying. Actually, here's my real hot take, right? And this will surprise one or two people in a way, because but there is a difference between this and something else. I actually quite like the UI. I just think the user experience is bad, but actually I quite like the UI. I think it looks quite nice. Now, would I like a little bit more color to differentiate a few things and make it pop a little bit in certain situations? Sure. Would I? Am I glad that they've taken away some of the laggy nature of moving around it? Sure. Can I find everything? Nope, not even like 90% of it, probably. But actually, I quite like the look of it. I think it feels quite good. To move around, to visually move about in. I don't understand why some things are a pop-up and some things are a normal screen, but actually they can work on that and, fine-tune those a little bit. But I quite like it. But yeah, the tactical stuff. This last few days, literally the last couple of days for me, I have ripped up my tactical setup for the first 3 seasons of my save. And I'm going with something different in season number 4 because I'm not quite understanding it yet. And it's not quite gelling between in and out of possession and doing what I want it to do. And so I'm going again and trying to reshape and remodel that. And I quite like that because, there was a little bit of an issue where I showed up to the early stages of this current save that I'm doing in a relatively simple 4-4-2 structure, and somebody basically came into my stream and says, it's not that dissimilar to what you were playing in an FM24, is it really, when you were being successful? Is that really any point in doing that? And I thought, well, actually, I think it's quite different because I wasn't playing wide men in that and I wasn't doing X, Y, and Z, but there are certain scenarios that are similar. I was still using a target forward, for example, etc. But people want difference and they want something unique and always it to be reshaped and moved and all that stuff. So I'm pleased that in a way, I'm now having to go in a slightly different direction and reshape it. So that's interesting and I've enjoyed it. But yeah, I think that's the in and out of possession stuff is a real positive for the general movement of FM moving forward. I think it's opened up a whole load of stuff, and I think it needs to be refined. And I'm sure that they will keep knocking off rough edges and doing all sorts of things to it over the next couple of iterations. But I really like it. It floats my boat in terms of trying to figure it out. Have I done that? No. Am I going to? I hope so.
Maybe, yeah.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah, possibly. I mean, look, here's a fun question for you, Kev. So you've kind of torn up the tactic sheet and you're going with something newer now. Mm-hmm. 2 questions, both to which link. Firstly, how many strikers do you have in the new system? And secondly, how tall are they?
Okay. I'll give you one guess for both of those things.
I think I know the answer because I saw you building the tactic, so I'm not going to comment.
I'm going to assume more than one.
Uh-huh.
And in terms of height, massive.
Uh-huh. Okay, so here's the thing, right?
Big lads.
Yeah, so let me paint the picture for you as succinctly as I can. I'm at Worthing Football Club. That's my current save. when FM25 didn't happen, my original plan at that point was to do a round the world journey save called the Boomerang, where you start in the Women's League and then you win it, and then you go visiting different continents and different countries in the continents that you've never managed before, and eventually work your way around the world, come back again and finish in the Men's English League to finish off the save. Hence the Boomerang. It finishes where it starts. I decided about 6 months ago, halfway through the second year of FM24, that actually I wanted to do something different, because I'm always doing a journey save. And I wanted to do a one club save, because I very rarely do them in content creation because I'm scared of getting the sack, basically. But I just felt the need to do it differently, because if you don't do a one club save, you're less worried about bringing the youth through and looking the long term and the finances and all sorts of other things. So you play it differently. Every 4 seasons, I could just rip them apart, do as good as I could do, and then move on to something else if I needed to. Now I can't. I've got to stick the long haul. So Worthing, because they are a local side to me, not because I have a connection to them particularly, but they were local to me and I discovered them. And there's a great story about their owner, Mr. George Dowell, who used to play for them and then got into an accident and was paralysed and used his compensation money to actually go and buy the club, and he now owns it. He's moving them forward and doing great. I am a disabled content creator. He is a disabled owner of a club. It seemed to mesh together and really connect me to them, which was amazing. So you now find me at Worthing. Over the last 3 seasons, I've moved up a division. I started in the 6th tier of English football. I'm now in the 5th, but we got stuck in the 5th for the last couple of seasons. The one thing that has worked for me is still a big lumpy bloke at a back post to put a header into the back of the net from a cross on the far side, as it were. Within the context of what I was playing, that was still involved in there somewhere. So, Rich, my new tactic, if one's going to work on one side, you've got to have them on the other side, haven't you? But to keep them on the far posts on either side, you've got to have someone in the middle to make sure that they're staying out wide. So I'm now playing 3 strikers. One in the middle that's a bit sort of movementy and dropping deep and doing all sorts of other things, and 2 lumpy big blokes on far posts that we can now bomb balls in from either side using wing backs. So it's going to be phenomenal. Kind of, maybe, sort of, I don't know. And then trying to get them into some semblance of a defensive shape when they've finished doing what they're doing. And that's basically where I'm at the moment. I'm in this weird position where I've spent the last couple of days reconfiguring it all, trying to find a balance to it all, working from a 4-3-3 back into a 4-4-2 diamond in the out of possession and other bits and pieces that hopefully in theory should work sort of maybe. But I don't know. I might get it past Monday's stream and then just go, nope, that don't work. What can we do now? But it might be brilliant. Who knows? But yeah, 2 big blokes. It's got to be the way, Rich, surely.
It's Kebble squared.
Yeah, exactly.
4 strikers, Kev. That's the solution. 4.
They won't let me.
Massive lads. Oh, disgusting, isn't it? Outstanding. Absolutely outstanding. I'm with you on a lot of that, though, Kev. A lot of that resonates with me. I'm still working it out. I had the caveat when I was doing What's the Story for McGlory at FM24. Every time I moved to a new club, with the new club had to come a new system, because you don't want to become overly reliant on something that you find that just works, because that's no fun. So I thought trying to do
a new
something
system
new,
that fits Luka Toplovic is what you
a new system that somehow has an attacking midfielder in it to fit in Luka Toplovic. Yes, my beautiful baby boy Luka. It's great. Everyone loves an attacking midfielder with a bit of freedom to roam. So I enjoyed that, and I felt FM24, because the tactics had been the tactics and had been the tactics for so long. You kind of understood what was going to work and what wasn't, and it was tailoring that to the players you inherited in your clubs, and that's all fine. I'm still at Feyenoord, obviously in my current save, and I've tweaked what I had in mind that would be successful when I took over. I've tweaked it a little bit. I've, generally speaking, got it working now. Tactically, I'm happy with how we set up, and I'm happy with how we are in possession. I'm happy with how we are out of possession. I was thinking about this earlier, and if and when I do end up moving on to the next stage of the save, I thought I can't just take what I'm doing now and transport it over. We'll have to do what we did last time and do something new. And then I got really, really nervous in the supermarket when I was doing the big shop. I was like, how am I going to set up a new tactic? It's taken me so long to fit. I don't want to do something. This is terrifying. So the concept of having to start all over again, Kev, really, really worries me. So
I get it.
I can see where you're coming from.
The weird thing about FM24 and the last 6 months of it is that Kevball 1.0 actually became a character in itself. You know, the fact that you would celebrate a Kevball goal specifically, which is crossing from the right, heading in at the back post on the far side, that was a Kevball goal and we were looking for it. So every time you get one, you can celebrate it, and there's Kevball emotes that you can put in the channels. So it became a character all of its own. So I don't want to just diminish that and just chuck that away, because it became a part of what my identity was in terms of playing this game. But you also don't want people coming in and going, not this again, you know, for goodness sake, whatever. So finding that balance is really, really tricky, because also I'm in the position where somebody else might come into my stream and go, well, completely throw it against the wall and play a 3-man back line and a blah-de-blah and this and that and the other. Well, that's fine. But my brain and the age that I am and what I was brought up in football doesn't resonate with that. I can't understand how a back three in Football Manager works particularly well. The only time I've seen it work, really, is when I've dropped one in from a defensive midfield position and played a half-back and made a back three from that, but it was still a flat back four to start with. That's how my brain processes football and stuff. So, of course, I could do all sorts of things to try and push myself into all sorts of different directions. But actually, I still just want to play this game in a bit of a way that I want to play it and still see my identity of football on it. And if that's going to be a big bloke at the far post, I'm still going to try. I'm just going to try other bits in and around that as well to see if other things work to support that. But yeah, it's an interesting thing. But it became a completely, you know, a character of its own in my stream for a very long time. And I think now I can kind of claim that we're on Kevball 3.0, having had one in the last 3 seasons that kind of worked a bit, but not as much as I'd like. So we'll see.
See how it goes.
Yeah.
I'm excited to see how it goes, though.
I'm glad someone is. I'm like you are in the supermarket going, I don't know whether this is stupid or not.
Well, we don't know unless we try.
No,
absolutely.
absolutely.
Give it a go, you know, and see what happens with it.
Yeah.
It's fun seeing the story evolve though with Worthing, and I'm hoping it obviously, you know, continues and you can manage to get them up to the Prem and stuff.
Yeah,
that'd be very fun.
It's been really weird because I mean I'm slightly disappointed where it currently is in save, but there's absolutely no reason for me to be really. I mean, first season I was in the Enterprise National League South, so 6th tier of English football, and we were predicted 10th and finished 2nd and went up via the playoffs, which I wasn't really expecting at all, but we took. So second season we're in the Enterprise National League and we were predicted 22nd and we finished 6th. But our run towards the end of the season dropped us off a title challenge into the lower part of the playoffs, and we were awful going into the playoffs and lost in the first game, and that was me done. And the third season, last season just finished, I was predicted 18th. But because I didn't finish in 6th or higher, I felt really disappointed as to where it was. And I finished down in 11th in the end, which is still great in the sense of I'm still developing this squad. And the first couple of seasons, I didn't really buy many players in. I was trying to work with what I had a little bit and all that kind of stuff. So there's no real reason for me to be too disheartened. Although what I tried to change in my tactical approaches last season, we outscored all but like 3 teams in the league, but we were, you know, out defended by absolutely everybody in the league, and I need to change that. And so we're going to see whether we can reshape that and make it something different. But this time round, having gone through a brilliant transfer window, and I was predicted 18th last season, I'm now predicted 19th for next. So I don't know what I did in the transfer window, but we'll see what happens next. But who knows what it'll be? You know, we'll hopefully outperform that and continue to build. But it's been fun so far. It's a really interesting little club down on the south coast, you know, that hopefully we can make them into something.
And like you said, getting out of National League South, that took Callum 8 seasons to do. So, you know.
I was really surprised to do it when I did. I thought I'd get into the playoffs and then lose partway through that and then just have to go again and again. But yeah, it was a real surprise. All I can tell you is that there is a fantastic 6'4" target forward in my squad that I showed up with in the first day called Babalola, and he was brilliant. Fortunately for me, FM, the creators of FM had obviously closed the database down in terms of movements and stuff before he was actually sold IRL, just before the season was as the season was getting going. If you remember like a couple of months ago, Worthing played, I think it was Forest Green on TNT Sports in the FA Cup early rounds or something like that. And Forest Green went, yep, we'll have him, thanks. And I think they bought him from them just before the game was launched, but the game had come out and he was there. I'm really grateful because he's been excellent. And I've just given him a new deal to go into the 4th season with me as well. Excellent target forward.
He's the new Cargbo.
Yeah,
And
I had
you've had the old
Cargbo as well,
Oh, wow.
for a while, and he just didn't do a thing for me, unfortunately, in a couple of seasons. So he's now moved on, and we've got other new, younger players come through to try and, be one of those big, meaty men up top. But Babalolo is now my club captain, having lost a couple of players. I was playing a 5'4" central defender for the first couple of seasons in Worthing, and it was a tremendous thing to see. He did all right, but it felt like now was the time to kind of change that and get a bit of presence at the back as well. But it's fun.
So new Kev ball is big guys up top, little guys at the back.
Yep. And
okay.
Who knows what happens in between?
Yeah. Sort of stagger it up so it looks like evolution.
Yes. Perfect.
So you're a really small goalkeeper.
If he's there at all, who knows? Yeah.
Well, there's a rumour going around in the space that apparently being 6 feet tall is small if you listen to the branding for charity matches. But
but you aren't 6 foot though, so.
Are you suggesting that you're 6 foot? Is that what I'm hearing here?
Yeah.
Surely not.
So look, if you, for the benefit of the audio listeners, I'm now gesturing with my hand to indicate height. Up to there, that's 6 feet tall.
Right.
So you're sat down, so are you 6 foot?
Am I sat down?
Either that or you've got a rucksack on.
I am, because I'm always ready to go. I sleep with one eye open, just awaiting the Sasmas assassination. I'm ready. Remember from earlier, before we start talking about serious things.
Yeah, exactly. And Sasmas like skinning. But there we are. So yeah,
There we go.
yeah, it's going to be gruesome when he gets you. So yeah, there you go.
Yeah. Still doing visual gags for an audio podcast. I like it.
Yeah. Absolutely, Kev. No, we're never going to do that.
Silent visual gags. That's important. Like, there's no benefit for the audio.
Yeah. Why are our numbers so low? Well, Richard's just a mime now. It's just really. So I'm now miming for the audio listeners. It's really stupid. I need to stop.
Perfect.
I need to stop. Oh, lovely, Kev. We've grilled you quite comprehensively this evening. I feel we've asked you lots of different questions, and you've handled them superbly. I have to say, to the surprise of nobody, obviously. Is there anything you might like to ask us, Kevsy, while you're here?
Yes, there is actually. And interestingly enough, it's not actually specifically Football Manager 26 related or anything along that line. It's podcast related. Okay. So I was fortunate enough to be on this pod for X amount of time, loved every second of it, missed it immensely since not being here. For the last 18 months, I haven't missed an episode. I've been watching along. I love you boys very much. What I want to know is 2026, where does it go? What happens next for the pod? How are we going to make this bigger and better and bolder in every possible way? What's the plan for FMT for 26? I'm trying to do some investigative journalism here and getting everybody a bit of a scoop.
It's a hell of a question. It's a really good question.
So if you've got an individual answer, a collective answer, a corporate answer that Rich has put his foot down and made you say, or whatever it is, I'm all ears.
He's made us all sign NDAs.
Of course.
Yeah. So we can't actually talk about it.
I feel like for me, I feel like initially the kind of the next steps of growth this podcast are getting the audience to accept that I am 6 foot tall. I think once that happens, the world is our oyster. That is actually it's a very interesting question, Kev. It is a very, very interesting question. To be honest with you, it's from my perspective, it's a bit of a tricky one, and I think about this a lot. And it's, I think, we've had a similar conversation kind of, on Discord recently as well with a few other people in terms of FM content in general. I feel a bit, it's kind of hard to articulate for me sometimes, because if I get really, really deep into it, and oh my goodness, this is always terrifying when Rich really starts thinking and trying to articulate thoughts, not my strong suit. Sometimes I do feel a little bit like with FMT, in the grand scheme of things, sometimes I do worry, did I fumble it when I took over from Matt and Tony? Because it was a wonderful podcast when Matt and Tony were involved in it, and I loved listening to it, and I was an avid listener, as well as kind of, being there and part of a few little bits and pieces behind the scenes. I was an avid listener, like very much like you since you've left us, Kev, never missed an episode, and getting to take over was such a privilege. And sometimes I think to myself, have I fumbled this somehow? And then I think, no, I don't actually think I have, because it's given me wonderful friends. It's helped me, I've got to meet loads of really, really interesting people through the podcast, that come on as guests and listeners, and through feedback from people. That's been brilliant. And I'm weirdly quite proud of what it is that we've kind of built over the last, well, crikey, 124 episodes since I took over. We have a nice time, and I have a really, really great time with my friends every week, and I think that in and of itself is invaluable. In terms of growth and next steps for us, it's tricky. I think Jeb has talked about this very articulately in ways that, I struggle to do so. I think we do good podcasting when I'm not getting really, really caught up on Street Fighter bosses. I think if we can, if we can finally put that aspect of things to bed, I think we're well away. Akuma's always been Akuma, by the way. Just worth putting out there at this point. I think we do good stuff, and I think it's just trying to somehow work out how to get more eyes on what it is that we do. Because I think for the most part, more often than not, when people start listening to our podcast, people continue to listen to our podcast. I don't think we're a kind of one and done kind of thing, but it's getting those initial eyes onto what it is and what we do, and people possibly realizing, you know what, that's all right. That's worth an hour of my week every week. I'd listen to this again. And it's getting there. We're a very niche. Football Manager in and of itself is a very, very niche game. We are not in the same way that a lot of us stream. I think we all predominantly stream Football Manager. I know, obviously, I've dipped my toes into other games recently. I know D and Jeb both have as well. But predominantly FM is the one we always come back to. So a lot of our audience are going to be FM players. We're not... Somebody who's never played Football Manager is probably not going to listen to a podcast which is predominantly about that. So in terms of like our growth within that space, I think that's what we need to, that's what needs to happen for us. So that's what I would like to happen for us, I should say. It's just working out how to do that. It's sometimes I think, is this an overcrowded marketplace in terms of podcasts? There are 3 very, very good weekly Football Manager podcasts out there. There are lots more. There are other podcasts, and they're also very good. But in terms of weekly content, there's us, there's 5 Star, there's the FM show. TJ's absolutely flying with the FM show, because of course he is, because it's Tony, and he is this is Tony's bread and butter. Tony's wonderful at this kind of thing, so that makes sense. 5 Star Potential have been kicking around for so long. They're great at what they do. They've built that audience up over time. We're also there. Comparatively, I don't think there's a huge amount of difference in terms of the quality of what we do. I think we're good. I think we belong amongst those other very, very good podcasts in terms of Football Manager content creation. But how do we get the people that are listening to the FM show and 5 Star Potential to listen to us? It's a tricky thing. You just hope people might, word of mouth is brilliant. People talk about us a lot. We have our audience are very vocal about what we do, and they're brilliant when it comes to that side of things. But I think for me, it's how we kind of extend that reach into the wider kind of FM space, into that wider player base, which is something that Tony is fantastic at doing. It's how we do that as well. That's what kind of that's where my head is with it, and I don't necessarily know the answer, Kev, but it's also for me, just spending enough time thinking about it, which isn't always my strong suit, it's something that I do regularly do, and it doesn't always come across that way, but it's something that I do spend a lot of time kind of thinking about and how we do it and what we do. But I don't always have the answers. But I want us to be more successful in terms of numbers, if that makes sense. I don't base our success on the amount of people that listen to the podcast. I'm very proud of what we do every week, and I think it deserves a little bit more, maybe. Does that make sense? I've had a bit of a ramble there, and I do apologise, but you know what? It's my podcast. I'm the dictator. Sorry,
Exactly.
overlord. So I'm allowed to. It's my platform, and I'll say what I like. Feel free to absolutely disagree with me there, fellas. Say it's all Rich's fault. Please do. That's
No, it's not your fault. It's partially your fault. I think we'll go with that. No, I think
okay, fine, absolutely fine.
I think he's almost putting a niche, like trying to work on that niche as well. I mean, they might go against me and say on it, but FM show 5-star potential. I don't think they ever ask how are you, or dive into that deeper and go a little bit deeper on the therapy side of things. So that's what essentially we are. We're football manager therapy. You use football manager to help you through harder times, or even just to discuss them. And I think we've had some. And I think it's quite hard to get a unique guest in the FM space, and I think we're starting to show it. We had Basic Boy last week, which was brilliant podcasting, but we know he's going to be on another podcast straight away anyway. But like, it's finding those other people that you may not have heard of. Like we had Taff on, like that was just an hour and a half of us just laughing, and I don't think we actually got any football manager. We got tiny bits of football manager content out of it. But it's finding that little niche in there. And then it's also like a community podcast as well. And I think D is actually tinkering away in the background at some ideas for that.
Yeah, trying to think of more ways, like you say, because it is, I feel like we are trying to definitely work more with community and stuff. Obviously, you say therapy is a side of things. So trying to think of just fun stuff to sort of do with the community and things like that. One thing is bringing back the kind of one season saves, which I think would be fun. It was something that I wasn't around when it was a thing for the pod, so I didn't get to experience any of it, but I always thought it sounded like a really fun thing that you just kind of do as a collective, and it's like, all right, cool, let's all kind of do the same thing. There's always some silly little caveat within there. Let's all see how we get on and all that sort of stuff. I like the idea as well of sort of, trying to, hear about our audience's saves and their struggles within them, that we can talk to them about and relate to them in some way, because we've all played the game, we've all experienced its highs and lows. We can all counsel our way through the difficult parts of FM and celebrate obviously all the great things. So I think I think Jeb's hit a nail on the head with sort of trying to tie in more stuff with community, which would be lovely. And again, like myself and Stakey have come up with a few different save ideas that we could pitch to people. I think doing some other daft things that are very on brand for us as well, instead of being like, okay, we're all gonna let's share your saves and all that sort of stuff. It's like, fine, everybody's gonna have good saves. We want to hear about the dumbest things, the silliest things from your saves. We want to hear about the silly players you've signed because they had a silly name. There was someone that appeared earlier on in mine that I was gutted that I didn't manage to get, but may have had my favourite new gen name. Oh, please don't say it's gone from the list. It's gone from a short list down. Silly names. Big fan of them. Oh, I had a player called Georgia George. Nice. Georgia George, which was quite fun. And then I think it was someone in chat. It might have been Zeep who put Georgia George, George of the Jungle. Watch out for that tree, and it just got me. But yeah, just the kind of silly things that we all muck around with and joke about all the time. Like, get them in on the joke. It's like, yeah, we're all here to just sort of have a bit of a laugh and have a bit of fun, really. But yeah, it's funny.
Absolutely. No, we have always been, and I think this was the case when you were part of the pod as well, Kev. I think we've always tried to pitch ourselves as very kind of community focused and community led. And that's one of the things that I think I'm very proud of, because we're here to, and I think we've always tried to champion the right people in terms of whether either through whether it be content creators, just people that are doing good work out in the community. We always want to share their experiences, want to share their successes with people that might not necessarily have heard about them. Basie Boy, prime example. There was he popped up on my I think Facebook, and I think there was one of the big kind of ambiguous sports pages on Facebook. There was a big article, and it was like, oh, there's a brand new stadium mod pack coming for FM26 soon. I was like, oh, that sounds amazing. I'll have a look at that, because that's what Basie Boy's doing. And it was him, and it was links to Basie Boy, and there was like links to his his website and everything. I was like, oh, that's amazing, because that's somebody who's doing something in a very, very niche space, and that's been picked up by like a more mainstream, and I'm doing air quotes for the audio listeners there. It's important to reference when I'm doing the visual gags, Kev. But I was like, that's really, really cool. And I was like, oh, here's a link to the podcast underneath that, because here's a really, really interesting chat with him about that process that you can go and have a little listen to. And I think we're very, very good at that. And the idea of the community challenges coming back, I loved the community challenges back in the day. They were so much fun. And they create, they've created some almost cult heroes in my head. There are some FM players that I absolutely adore because of some of those challenges. Calafiori, who's now at Arsenal, being tall and gorgeous, like he was the starting left back for pretty much everybody back in one of the old Tony Jameson Discord challenge saves with Roma, because
Jeff Linton,
biscuit legs. Jeff Linton, there's another one. See, all these wonderful players that have come from those kind of things that, it feels a little bit like if you know. Scott Cashgate, that was another one who just scored goals for fun for Wickham for 6 months. It was brilliant. So much fun. And I'm very proud of what we've done in terms of, we've always been we try and be community led, and I think that's something that we continue to do. And I'm very, very proud of that. I think that's a good thing, that it fits us as people. I think, it's something that we all want to do as members of the pod. We all want to champion people and say, hey, look at this person who's doing something that's amazing. Look at this person. Put a spotlight on this person that might not have it. And I'm not saying it's the biggest spotlight in the world, but at least it's, one person sees it, tells a friend, they tell a friend, they tell a friend. You've told 3 friends. That's that's great. We love a bit of that. So I think I'm very happy with that. But I suppose, Kev, it kind of all comes back to what you do. We don't. It's not necessarily content creation. It's community creation, and it's how we expand our community and how we get more friends and more people with eyes on what we do. Yeah,
that's cool. I appreciate all of that. I've got an answer to the question that you asked me right at the beginning of the podcast. I've figured it out. You asked me right at the beginning of the podcast whether I am basically a part of the furniture, an old part of the family, or whether I'm actually a guest on the podcast. For the next couple of minutes, I'm going to be a guest on the podcast, because you wouldn't refuse a guest anything, would you? And I'm going to request a couple of minutes where I can tell you what I think about you, all of you.
God.
Because that's just the way I roll. So here we go, right? I was on this podcast for a number of months, and I thoroughly enjoyed it. What people do not see is the best part of running this podcast is the bit before we stream, before we record. Apologies, I'm a streamer. That's what I do. Before we record, and the connection between the people that are doing it. What you have managed to do over the last couple of years to make you worthy of still being here is that you have not only created a team that's good, you've replaced a team that was good and still made it good. And that's difficult to do, getting people together that work and are the right people. And what you found in Stakey is an incredibly articulate, incredibly kind human being that knows how to speak his mind in the way that he wants to and put a point across very succinctly and well. And what a commentary voice he's got, for goodness sake. What you have in someone like Dan is an incredibly talented, gifted guy that is willing to give that to other people. The amount of stuff that I hear of Dan around other people's streams is great in terms of songs and other bits and pieces. He's a lovely guy and generous with what he has. What Jeb brings is he brings a grounding in quality to what you lot do. Without Jeb, this doesn't run in the way that it does because of what Jeb did all the way back to set stuff up in the first place and make it work. And through the playoffs that we did, it was about quality and keeping that where it needed to be. And that's what he brings, a grounding of that. Rich, every podcast needs a voice, and yours is a perfectly articulate, vulnerable but funny, very worthy voice to lead a podcast. And I don't care whether it makes you uncomfortable or not, because it's just the reality of it. You wouldn't be here a couple of years after starting if you weren't worthy of it. What I'm going to now do is I'm going to challenge the audience that are listening to my ramblings of trying to make everybody uncomfortable and feel a bit vulnerable and weird and all that kind of stuff. I'm going to challenge you. Tell these boys this. I'm serious. Tell these boys this. Tell them what makes this podcast impactful for you and what makes it important for you, and give them something to work from, because it's great that they get to meet up for an hour before they press record and have a chat amongst themselves and have friendship and connection. It's great that they get to put a podcast together and put something out into the ether, but it needs something in response. And if they're not getting the wider viewership of, that they'd love to get at the moment, what they have to work with is what's in front of them and who they're doing it for at this point. So if you're one of them, tell them what it means to you, and that will boost them to do bigger and bolder and better things. Love you all. Think you're awesome. And now I will stop making you feel uncomfortable. There you go.
Rich, after last week and this week, can we stop getting guests on who have been really making us positive and feel weird?
I know, it's
at the end of the
horrible.
episode?
Honestly,
Yeah.
I felt more feelings the last few weeks of pod recordings than I just generally feel over the course of a year. It's terrifying.
Yeah.
Oh, it's
last
horrible,
week, me and Rich had to give each other attributes, mental attributes, which is the best mental attribute that they had. Yeah.
Mine was height. Just want to put that out
Yeah.
there. Mine was just being massive. Absolutely huge.
Yes.
Oh, Kev. Never change. You're a quality human being. Thank you for that. Mate. That was...
I couldn't if I wanted to. My wife's got a gun to my head telling me never to do it, so it's fine.
So sometimes it creeps into shot.
Yeah, there is a very. I was thinking this. We were going on about the community. I think there's an easy Christmas community challenge. I'll speak to Dee about it, but I think something we can easily do is who can find things in Football Manager the quickest. I think we can do like a treasure hunt.
That's
Like,
amazing.
You need to find where's the top goal scorer in your league. Where is this?
Best
Where is
idea.
That? Yeah, and see who can find them the quickest.
Absolutely.
We'll see where we go with that. But yeah,
We'll be here for weeks.
exactly.
Again, I think that's a great shout. I think Dee's speed running press conferences challenge from a little while ago was an absolute joy, and I still often think about that when I'm doing them now. If and when I do them now, it's like, this could be faster. It's like, it used to be faster.
But that actually is also ends up being a guide for people anyway, because some people might find things that we don't know about. So let's just make a list of things that we can't find, and they can find them for us, and it'd be like a little treasure hunt. Oh, you found it, well done. That's where it is right now. I know.
How did you do that? Just break it down for me.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Really slowly, really slow. So you click there, then you click. Okay, interesting. Yeah, but that's a lovely shout. Oh, lovely.
Rich,
Jeb.
I'm going to press that button that I pressed last week. It's not changed since last week, so I'm just going to press it again. Are you ready?
Go on. Yeah, I'm ready.
I hope it's this button. Let's get quizzical. I want to get quizzical. Ah.
Is that a Dan original? No, I'm sorry.
No.
I don't remember making it. But these tablets are very good, so maybe I did.
Exactly. There you go. Yeah. I've got a quiz for you. And yeah. It's based on Savesman, Rich. Well, I say Savesman. Barclaysman. It's based on Barclaysman.
Okay.
What we'll do, instead of... I don't want you guys to compete against each other. So for the Barclays era...
It's a Christmas miracle. Thanks.
No. The Barclays era was from 2004 to 2016. Mm-hmm. I've got a list of 40 players who made the most appearances in that era. To help you along to start off with...
appearances.
Yeah, most appearances. To help you along, there's 8 goalkeepers, 13 defenders, 13 midfielders, and 6 strikers.
Oh, God. We got to name them all.
If we can name them all, I'd be impressed. I'll give you clues and let's see if we can get through it. Like, anybody you want to name off the top, you can go for it.
2004 to 2016. That's the...
Yep.
I am going to embarrass myself so often now when they say, no, he retired in 98. What are you talking about?
I know that... shockingly, in my head, I'm going for all-time Premier League appearance makers, because some of them have to be on the... Like, Gareth Barry is surely on that list.
Ding. Number 1. Done.
There we go. James Milner.
Rooney?
Ding. Number 1, number 2, and number 3. Done. There we are.
There we go.
Cooking.
Giggs.
Yeah. No, you got one wrong.
Oh,
Rubbish,
bit-
D.
He was there for a decade before that, basically. So that was where a lot of his appearances came from. Michael Carrick.
Ding. That's 4. 10% of the way there already.
Gerard?
Ding.
Love a bit.
Petr
Okay.
Cech.
Ding.
Great shout. Schwarzer?
Ding.
Okay, I'm now thinking.
6 goalkeepers left.
6 goalkeepers left. So we've had Cech, we've had Schwarzer. Ooh, no.
With De Gea?
No.
No,
That's who I was
No,
thinking.
he was like 2010s, wasn't he? Signed, I think.
yeah.
I don't know.
What was the other? Big Bad Brad Friedel.
Ding.
There we go.
How many are we
Paul
allowed to get
Robin-
wrong, or is it just keep
Paul
going?
Robinson?
No, let's just keep going. Let's see if we can get them all. I'll start throwing clues out when, if you want to request a clue, you can request a clue.
Can I throw my mate Ben Foster in the mix?
Your mate Ben Foster. Yeah, your mate Ben Foster's also wrong. He's got
Paul
2
Rob-
wrong so far. I'm not.
Paul Robinson,
You're not keeping
Which one?
Just so we know.
number 1. England's
Which one?
number 1.
England's
the
number 1, not
goalkeeper.
the.
The
Yeah,
goalkeeper.
the defender. Ding, correct. Yes.
There we go.
We've got 4 goalkeepers left. They're all different nationalities. That helps.
4 goalkeepers left. They're all different nationalities. Excellent. That helps loads. Ooh.
Is there an England goalkeeper in there?
There is.
Is it Joe Hart?
It is Joe Hart. Well done.
Hey. What about if it's another goalkeeper, Aurelio Gomez?
What?
He was there. He was around for ages. He was around for ages.
He was around for ages, but yeah, Watford weren't up that long. I
No, I thought he played for different clubs. I thought he was at
Yeah, he
different
played
clubs.
for Tottenham.
Tottenham
For
for
like
a
a
bit,
season,
didn't
and they got rid of him because he was dodgy, and they fixed that problem, didn't
okay.
they? Oh wait, no.
Okay. Let's think.
Okay.
Oh. I don't know if this is too late. Shay Given?
Too late. Correct.
Oh,
It's too late. So that's 3 wrong for D so far.
Yeah,
Jolien,
counting now, are
Jolien
we, Jen?
Lescott.
Ding.
Jens Lehmann?
Oh, too late.
Man.
2002 to 16.
We've got somebody who only exclusively scored bangers. Insomnia's another clue.
Somebody who only scored bangers. Somebody like Leighton Baines.
Not him. He did score bang. It wasn't him I was thinking of when he scored bangers, but ding anyway.
He is on there. Yeah.
Yeah. Red cards and own goals. There's another one for you.
Ferdinand?
No, Fred, don't have.
No.
Red cards and own goals. It's, hang on. Have we said
Jamie Carragher.
Jamie Carragher, ding. It's not who I was talking about, but yeah,
Yeah.
he did
Yeah,
score some
okay.
own goals.
Oh, there.
Richard Dunn.
Ding.
There he is.
Good shout.
Are the trifecta of Lampard, Gerrard, Scholes all
There you
there?
go. One of them is there. Lampard is there.
Lampard. Okay.
Okay.
We've already had Carrick. Is it too late for it? It's probably too late for a bit of Nicky Butt, isn't it? Yeah, it's going to be far too late for Nicky Butt. What?
I don't.
It was too late, yeah.
Yeah.
It was too late. It was too late. Okay. What about? Ooh.
If you think of Stakey, actually, it'll help you along.
Sol Campbell?
No, that's far too late as well.
No.
Crouch
Ding,
Defoe?
and Defoe.
ding.
Okay.
Frankia?
No, unfortunately not, Kev. Wait further back.
Okay, so
David James.
Oh, David
Too
James
far
has
back.
to be.
Too far back.
Split the difference.
Yakubu, the quintessential Barclaysman.
No one was saying work your way back. Defenders who played for Portsmouth.
Yeah, but
Matty
Yakubu.
Taylor.
Okay, are we
Matty
specific?
Taylor, there you go, exclusively scored bangers, done.
He did exclusively
He did,
score
to be fair.
bangers, didn't he?
Fair.
I also really respected the fact that he kept Matty, like clearly a childhood nickname, into adulthood.
There is a goalkeeper, a defender, a midfielder, and a striker who all play for Man United, Kev.
Ooh, okay. Van der Sar.
No.
No. Goalkeeper.
Barthez?
Bartle.
No.
No.
In the middle. In between.
Howard.
There we are, ding.
Oh, Tim.
I was going to say
Okay,
Roy
United.
Carroll.
Because he went to Everton, didn't he, as well? Yeah.
Of course he did.
Ooh, defender John O'Shea.
Ding.
Oh, that's lovely.
Good. Very
lovely
nice.
bit of business.
Very nice.
United. Dimitar Berbatov.
No.
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 Van Nistelrooy probably wasn't there long enough, maybe?
No. He
Louis
started
Saha?
with the correct Dutch pre-name. Pre-surname. Is that
Van
what you call
Persie.
it? Yeah,
Persie.
Ron Van Persie. Ding.
Okay, just missing that
Midfielder.
United midfielder.
Midfielder.
Is it
Fletch,
Anderson?
Darren
It's clearly
Fletcher.
not. It's clearly not Anderson.
No.
Darren Fletcher. That's got to be one, surely.
Nope.
Is it not Darren
Yeah.
Fletcher? That's wild.
A bird once pooed in his mouth.
Oh, Ashley Young.
Yeah. Yeah. Amazing.
Yeah. Yeah. That's easy to know, yeah.
Yeah, there we go.
You've
Now,
got
now
a
we're
right
talking
back.
Dean's language.
You got a right back from Portsmouth and a centre back from Portsmouth who also played for Everton.
Glenn Johnson.
Ding.
Centre backs. gonna do
Joseph.
me.
Is it? Oh no, what was his name? The centre back also Everton. Yobbo.
Nope.
Oh.
He played for
Distan?
City as well, actually. Yeah, Distan.
Sylvan
Correct.
Distan.
Ding.
There he is.
Nice. Very good.
He was massive. You'd have liked him, Kev.
Oh, yeah, yeah. Absolutely.
Absolute unit. Okay. How many goalkeepers have we got left, Jeb?
One.
One.
It'll be
Give us
Spanish.
a Spanish goalkeeper. Almunia?
No.
Pepe Reina?
Oh, yeah, that's
Ding.
one. Yeah.
There we are.
Oh,
Actually,
of course it's
there is
Pepe
another.
Reina.
There is another goalkeeper, and you might finish with him. I don't know.
Is it Jaska Leinen?
That's Galainen.
Yes, there you go.
Nice. Very good.
Yes, right.
It's not finished, is it? It's 28. Okay, lovely. So that's all the goalkeepers done.
Yep.
Lovely.
You've got 4 defenders left.
Okay. Okay.
Defenders.
Arsenal, Man City,
Oh, I was about to say
Chelsea.
Gallas.
I was
No.
Well, I
I'm
was
just
gonna-
I'm just listing the teams where they're all played.
Oh, okay.
going to throw out an Ashley Cole.
No, surprisingly.
Really?
Either Toure brother?
Yeah, you can go for Ivor Toure, brother, but Colo Toure is correct, yes.
Ivor Toure was the third brother that never made
Yeah,
it.
Ivor Toure. Yeah.
Ivor Toure.
It was the third one. Poor thing.
I'm saying insomnia again. That's all I'm saying.
Insomnia.
I'm assuming the song, not the festival.
No,
I'm
no.
assuming
that
the fact
was
that
his
they
name.
can't
yeah.
sleep.
Is it? Oh, is it Jimmy Faithless?
No. It's not.
I
Played for
got
Newcastle.
insomnia.
Stephen
In
Taylor.
one of the most famous press conferences.
Oh, I don't know.
Yeah. Okay.
Bakary Sanya,
No.
Gail Clichy.
Ding.
Hey, there you
Nice.
The
Love
choice
that.
of a Frenchman who played for Arsenal and Man City.
3 England defenders left. All
God.
internationals.
And they were in all internationals.
Yes.
Ooh.
Have we said John
Gary
Terry?
Kay?
No, you haven't. And you haven't said Gary Cahill either. There you go. That's 2.
There we go.
Oh, yes.
Cahill, Terry, and... Ooh. England.
If you listen to some people, you could think his name begins with a Y, but it doesn't.
His name could begin with a Y, but it doesn't.
Phil Jones.
No, correct first name, though.
Oh, Jagielka.
Oh,
Yeah,
James.
Jagielka.
Jagielka.
Was he the only scores bangers that you were thinking of from earlier, by the way?
No, that was Matthew Taylor.
Oh, that was my oh, sorry. Of course.
Right, so
Okay,
goalkeepers and defenders are done.
Lovely.
Oh, goodness.
You've got 2 strikers left. I think they both played for England, but they shouldn't have done. That's the nicest way to put it.
Emil Heskey.
No.
He should have played for England. How dare you, big lumpy target forward? What are you talking about?
Well, one of them is a big lumpy target forward, and one of them, I don't know how he ever got in the England squad, but there we are. You've got to think of proper Barclaysman.
Yeah.
Go on, Kev. Big beefy forwards for
What
England.
was his name? Is it Ashton?
No.
No.
He got injured too early.
He did, didn't he?
Yeah.
Big lumpy
Francis
target.
Jeffers.
He's not big and lumpy.
I mean, Crouch isn't lumpy, but he's big.
Yeah, we've had Crouch already. Otherwise,
Okay.
We've had 2 meter Peter.
you liked a yellow card.
Andy Carroll?
Nope. And Big Sam.
Ooh.
Kevin Davis.
Yes, there we are.
Super cat. There he is.
And then the other one was just fast. I think that was the only attribute that he had. He was
Theo
English.
Walcott.
No.
It was just dead quick. Who was rapid that couldn't do it? See, the only rapid England players I can think of that couldn't really do anything else are Theo Walcott or Aaron Lennon.
He's in there as a midfielder. Well done.
Well done, Rich.
We'll take
Accidental
that.
stumble. Yep.
There we go. We take those.
Just fast forward.
Absolutely rapid striker that couldn't really do anything else.
One of the worst pundits on television and radio currently.
Now we're going to embarrass ourselves by picking the wrong ones. Is it? I don't know. Bent.
Same station though. Got a correct station.
Oh, goodness. I'm trying to think who's... Oh, just on attack. Did we say Joe Cole for midfielders? Is Joe Cole in and around there?
He's not in there now.
That's a shame. Oh, who was really, really, really quick and not very, very good and is also a terrible pundit?
Daniel Sturridge.
Wow, but no.
I don't know. I'm just picking random names now.
Oh, we're just spitballing now. Oh goodness. Go on, give us a club, Jeb. Give us a club.
There's a midfielder from this club as well. Villa.
Gabia Bonglahor.
Yes, that's correct. There's a midfielder there.
I forget that he was a footballer.
Yes. So you've got 6 left.
And they're all
One of them's a
midfielders.
Premier League manager. One of them is yep.
There we go.
One of them is same nationality, same club.
Santi?
Nope.
Okay.
Fabregas.
Yep.
That makes more sense.
Yeah.
Santi?
One of them is a Big Sam player. The other one is another person who played for England but should never have played for England, but who's a winger. And played for Everton. And one of them was the great left hope.
I've got Osman in my head.
Yep, Osman's correct.
Well done.
Lovely.
And then Insomnia. I'm still sticking with this Insomnia one. Actually, Insomnia and Goal, the film.
Goal, the film, and Insomnia. I've not.
Is it Newcastle then, I assume? and then Kieran Dyer.
Nope.
That's
Genus.
such a...
Nope.
Am I getting close?
He played for Newcastle. That's probably about it.
Okay, it's a good start.
He was French.
Great. French.
Johan Kabay.
No, I knew you were going to say that.
Beat me to it. I love Johan Cruyff.
Also played for Villa.
French play for Newcastle and the Villa.
More famously in Newcastle.
In Zogbia?
Yes, that's correct. Charles Insomnia.
Well,
Joking here, getting his name wrong.
that's amazing.
Oh,
Right, you've got 2 England
love it.
midfielders left.
Oh,
Both got Scouse connections.
Phil Neville.
No.
No.
Good guess, though. I think he was, he was retired a bit. Yeah.
Fellaini.
One of them played for one of them played for Villa. They're both English. Fellaini is not English.
Yeah, famously English, Marouane Fellaini.
Yeah. Some scam.
Both
For Villa as well.
English Villa midfielder.
One of them had to babysit another England player because he got in trouble.
Oh, I know exactly who this is. It's Kevin Nolan.
Yep, that's correct.
There it is. Yeah. I was close
That's
to Andy.
one.
I mean, technically, I said Andy
Left-
Carroll. He was his
left
minder, wasn't he?
midfielder.
So-
Downing.
Yep, there we are. Done.
Oh,
Hey,
There you go. It only took you 4 hours. Well done.
yeah.
I'll tell you what.
all right.
Yeah, we'll take that.
It's a whole separate episode of the podcast. That.
Oh, lovely. I mean, that feels very much like the end of a podcast to me. I don't know about the rest of you fellas, but it feels quite poddy.
I've got nothing left to give.
I'm just so angry, but so happy with that Charles and Zogbia clue. Would you believe it? I was watching Charles and Zogbia highlights earlier today.
Because I think the goal clue is the goal that he scores at the end. The free kick is a free kick that Zogbia scored against Liverpool. But I'm actually completely wrong because I think it's Laurent Robert, but there we are.
Close enough.
Oh, is this
I'm just going to cover my bases just in case somebody tries to call me out in the comments, but there we are.
just in case? Yeah, I was really enjoying this week's pod until Jeb got Laurent Robert wrong. Great until then. Fellas, it's been an absolute delight. Kev,
It has.
it's been truly wonderful to have you back this evening, buddy.
It's been my joy.
Oh, mate, honestly. Just before we go, not that I really want to, because if I go, it's over, but just before we do start to wrap things up, Kev, if people would like to see you and your big beefy boys playing Kev Ball
Yep.
on the internet, where can they find you?
So come and find me both on X and Blue Sky at the United City FM, because that will eventually point you to the fact that I stream every weekday afternoon over on Twitch 2 till 5 p.m. UK time, and it would be an absolute delight to see you over there at the United City FM as well. Come and say hi.
Beautiful. And you'll be welcomed in with open arms, because a Kev stream is a truly wonderful place to be. D, you wildly successful football manager, you. Just can't stop winning at the moment. Where can the people find you?
Well, they can find me, and I found the player, Bonolo Mafolo. They can find me or Bonolo Moffolo, could be pronounced like that, on twitch.tv/dboyplays.
Beautiful. Jeb, if you're online, where can people find you?
You might find me on twitch.tv/Jebaroot. I will do the weekly shout out for Cupburger as well. There are over $9,000 of donations into that fantastic support network, particularly during these times. A lot of showing off about the flowers that you can get as well as the bread. I think that we discussed it last week, but it's a really important cause, and it's nice to see that people are using it and donating to it as well. And I think some of the projects are actually flying. I was just looking just at where they're going as well. So the extra projects that they're putting, I know they've donated like £500 to each one, but actually they're going really well as well. So that's quite nice to see. So cupburger.org, like I said, get involved. If you can donate, if you can set up a monthly donation, even better.
Brilliant.
Super duper. If you're wondering what is Cupburger, you wait until the end of this podcast because there will be a full explanation. Don't you worry. As for me, twitch.tv/RichOwensFM. You can find me there doing some streaming, having a nice time with friends. Just before we go, Kev, I'm going to ask you a question that I was going to ask to our other potential guest this evening that hasn't been able to join us. So I'm going to ask you, just in the spirit of podcasting, Kev, Roberto Martinez, true or false?
False.
It's true. That's what he would have said as well. Oh well, can't win them all. Thank you, fellas, for joining me this evening, and thank you, our audience, for watching, for listening. However you are consuming this podcast, we appreciate you, and thanks for stopping by and hanging out with us. We will see you on the next episode of Football Manager Therapy, where I promise I'll have figured out specifically which Street Fighter boss was known by their name in Japan. I'm pretty sure I've got it down, but come back next week to find out if I have or haven't. Until then, take care. I love you lots. Bye-bye.
Hi.
It's harrowing. Truly harrowing.
Hey everybody, it's me, Cuppy. I can't do it. I'm sorry. I tried for a little while. Hey, you know Cupburger. It's a mutual aid fund created by us for us to take care of our needs. Folks have been applying for grants, getting paid out. Folks have been donating, giving us money every month. We're so grateful. This has been really cool work, and we've met a lot of need already. However, there are some projects that we've been wanting to address that are above our monthly cap allowance. So we've created special projects, and we're launching special projects. If you have a need that is more than our monthly allowance, get in touch. Admins will get in touch with you. We can help you set up a GoFundMe, and Cupburger will be paying out up to 50%. So these are just burgers that look like, anyway, don't get distracted. Up to 50% of our income every month will be paid out to special projects who we have partnered with until those projects' needs are met. Meaning, you may see new chat commands in chat that tell you to go direct to a GoFundMe if you want to give someone money. That's because they're a Cupburger partner, and Cupburger is working with them to fulfill their crowdsourcing needs. Special projects, now a part of Cupburger. Give money. Apply. Cupburger. Have a great day. Bye.